So, for some time, I have been aware of information that I believe connects the death of former FBI agent John O'Neill to the death of John Parnell Walker. And when John Parnell Walker died, I didn't know at the time, but I was real time aware of factors related to his death. I contend there was something connected to his life insurance policy that was used in an act of securities fraud associated directly with my identity. Now, there's a reference in this article in New York Magazine discussing how in August of 1996 there was an incident where the New York Times reported that Mr. O'Neill, Agent O'Neill, was under investigation. And included in the information regarding this investigation was information connected to a briefcase of his that got stolen. A cigar cutter was missing from the briefcase. This is in the New York Magazine. And 2 years later, on August 19th, presumably, Bill Clinton is giving grand jury testimony. And you let that follow me to Honduras while I was teaching minor students. You set up a simulation on framing an FBI agent that, among other things, was involved with evidence collection regarding allegations associated with Enron. And you let that follow me to Honduras. You let them take those specific elements and follow me to a foreign country where I was teaching minor students. Didn't you get enough when you tried to frame me and torture me in 2010, concurrent to the sentencing of a woman who was convicted of capital offenses with a girl child that warranted execution? You didn't think that was enough? See, at the time that happened, Hillary Clinton was literally the Secretary of State. Did she have some outstanding deals that needed to get closed on site in Honduras? And she wanted me to what? Be grateful her husband started breaking into my vehicle when I was still a minor? I believe that's exactly what you expected. And ever since then, I was supposed to be what? The Russian pension payout for all of her old boys that covered up for her crimes because she was such a good doting wife that she agreed to cover up for her role in the crimes Bill committed with all these old boys? And what were you going to do about these young people? Another generation you were setting up to be sexually abused on the command of the President of the United States. I contend that when the President of the United States spies on you as a minor and sets you up for 25 or more years of expected sexual performance as a bribe or a kickback to people involved with organized crime attempting to use the cover of immunity based upon their access to government jobs, that qualifies as sexual assault. And if they attempt to kidnap you, force drug you, defame you, and torture you, including in connection with the development of electronic weapons, because you say no, or because you say yes in an effort to track the terrorist and succeed, that's not only sexual assault, that's terrorism. That's sex terrorism. It's not covered as a national security strategy, and it's not a goddamn nuclear paradigm. It sure as fuck isn't your pension fund. What are you going to do about this? No, You know what? You obviously don't have the authority to do a goddamn fucking thing anymore, do you? No, you don't. You owe an apology to every student and the parent of every student at that school in Honduras. The principal, the vice principal, and whoever's on the board needs to be fired and prosecuted. And I need a response to what happened to the account I was required to open with Banco Continental, both before and after the alleged bust of the Rosendahl family by the Department of Treasury, that it seems did not stop acts of money laundering that originated in Honduras in connection with an account that was supposed to be my direct deposit to get paid for teaching minor students. By the way, I never used that account. Somebody else has been using that account ever since it was opened. To this day, I've received no response from anybody verifying it was shut down. That's because it wasn't, was it? Who thought they would abuse their role in Treasury in order to use my identity and my life and my students to launder money to cover up for narco terrorists that infiltrated the government? It doesn't matter that they've infiltrated the government 25 or 30 years ago. By the way, part of this pattern of racketeering activity is laundering money in connection with crime that's allowed to proliferate under the auspices of law enforcement into teacher retirement accounts as a way to bribe teachers to keep quiet about electronic sexual abuse of their students for their compensation. And that's exactly what the Supreme Court of the United States just condoned. Do you understand the full implications here?